Emerson, what have you kind of learned about navigating traffic over these past few outings ever since you've come back? Just being able to consistently work around base runners and, kind of get out of jams.
I mean, you just got to keep attacking. You got to keep throwing strikes. And you can't fall behind guys. And when you get base runners, you get a couple hits here and there. Like, your only option is to just keep going at them. And trust your stuff and try to make the best pitches you can.
You didn't want to go through that season debut, but how much did that kind of help you learn how to do that and navigate these types of, maybe higher traffic outings?
Yeah, I mean, I think you can learn from every outing, and I think, failure is a great way to learn, and it's just kind of stuff that you go through, but, as a pitcher, you're moving forward. You want to keep making the best pitches that you can, give your team a chance to win, and just get those guys back in the dugout, especially the way they're swinging right now. My job is to throw a lot of strikes, get those guys back up the plate.
Does it get frustrating at all when you hear a bat snap and yet you see the ball kind of float into the outfield? That seemed like all the ones that in the first inning today.
Yeah, I mean, normally it's a really good sound. You're like, okay, this probably be an out right here, but today they had a couple that fell, but there's nothing you can do about it.
I mean, what does that tell you about it? Because I think you only had 3 or 4 hard-hit balls of all the ones in play. I mean, where does that tell you about your ability to kind of limit hard contact?
Yeah, I thought we made some really good pitches. I thought we executed pretty well. It's not, you can always be better, but you can't control your broken bats and where the ball goes from there. The only thing I control is, the intent and the commit when I throw it, and after that, everything else out of my control.
Is that something that's changed for you mindset-wise? Because it did seem like earlier in your career, something like that, just a run of bad luck, even like an error extended the inning, that could kind of snowball on you sometimes.
Right. Yeah, I think it's just a mindset, and I think it's a perspective, and I think, you can't let, a hit here or a home run there kind of deter your outing. I mean, they're really good hitters. These are really, really good teams, and you just got to kind of keep going after them and keep attacking and keep trusting your stuff.
It seemed like you used the slider a little bit more today. How's the progression been with that? What about it is making you confident to use it more?
Yeah, I thought I executed pretty well in Boston, and I have a pretty good feel for it, and I just wanted to kind of keep building off of that. And it's a pitch that I feel like I can use to get ahead, but also with 2 strikes.
You're part of a club that has lost a lot of players to injury, but still continues to win series despite it. When you look around, what do you see in terms of resilience or just the attitude of this group to continue to move forward even when guys are continuing to go down?
Yeah, I think it's that. I think resiliency. I think we keep fighting. We keep playing as hard as we possibly can. It's a lot of fun right now, and we're playing really, really well, and it's fun to watch us play.
And for you, these last 3 starts, just in terms of your mindset, how has it helped the fact that you've gone against some really potent lineups and some really high-quality players, and you've managed to put together 3 really great starts out of it?
Yeah, I think it's good, but also it's just the job, which you have to just keep doing moving forward. And don't get too high, don't get too low. You take the good and the bad from this one, and you move on.
What's it like watching what the offense has been doing for the past 3 weeks?
It's awesome. It's awesome. They are really locked in. They're grinding at bats. They're fouling really good pitches off and getting the one that they can really put a good swing on, and it's a lot of fun watching them right now.
How glad are you to not be on the other side of that, having to pitch to this team? It seemed like Anderson was pretty frustrated at points today.
Yeah, I think, when you're pitching, it's a really good lineup, and guys that you just grind you, and they fight you, and they keep going after you, it makes it really tough on you.
Thanks, man.
Thanks.
Thanks so much.
Really good way to cap the homestand here. Another just a really good ball game, all up and down around. When you look at offensively, defensively, on the mound, a lot of great stuff today. I thought Emerson pitched very, very well. He gave up 10 hits, but a lot of broken bats. Nothing that was not a lot of them hit hard. Singles, and able to get out of a couple of tough spots there early on. I thought he threw the ball very, very well, and that's a couple back-to-back outings that have been really strong for him. Randy early on, putting us on the board with the homer, and then taking a run away from them with a great throw from left field. It was right on the money. Big defensive play right there to kind of keep the game where it was. Legs doing a great job, coming out of the bullpen again, and getting out of a tough spot there with a couple guys on. And then Zardo and Troy Taylor to finish it up. Those guys continued to throw the ball well. And then, the seventh inning was big. Getting on base to lead it off, and then a great bunt by Samad to get his first big league knock, which is, that's a big thing in anybody's life, in any player's life, and to be able to do that. And then, the rest of the offense took over from there. JP with a big knock, Leo Rivas with a big knock. Catcher's getting a couple stolen bases today. You got to love to see that. So just, I'm afraid to keep going because I'm afraid I'm going to miss something. But, just a great job all around, up and down the lineup, offense, defense, on the mound. Really good way to end this homestand.
And how is that aggressive mentality that you guys have been preaching since spring training on the base paths help translate to those moments when you guys are able to put up a runaway inning and kind of capitalize on mistakes that they're making out there as well?
Yeah, I mean, I thought, I think that just being aggressive can be a huge benefit, and you look at a small thing like a ball getting away from Ohapi and Cal making a really aggressive read and getting down to second base on that pitch. That's just heads up baseball. That's just being aggressive, getting himself into scoring position. It's wanting to get 90 feet more or 90 feet closer to home. So, anytime you can do that, I think you're putting yourself and the team in a lot better position. And that's what these guys have continued to do since spring training.
What did you like the most about how that rally came together in the seventh?
Really just, where we were getting the contributions from everybody. A couple of guys down at the bottom to kind of set the table. And then, things kind of took off from there. And, and then the guys at the top continuing it. It's just, when you've got that kind of momentum, that synergy going, it's something that, you can break open the game in a situation like that. And we were able to do that. And then, I thought Leo's at bat there. To get two more. I think if you get out of that situation and you're the Angels, you feel pretty good about only giving up 4 in that situation. But Leo just putting together a really good at-bat to get a couple more to kind of really break it open at that point. Just some really good at-bats all the way through.
What can you say about what Leo's provided you since coming up?
I mean, of course, we knew that from him last year, and he just puts a really tough at-bat on you. And, he doesn't chase. Really good concept of the strike zone, and right-handed or left-handed, he's going to make you work. He's one of those guys that's going to, drive a pitch count up. He's going to get on base, and we've seen it. And he's going to come up with some big hits like today. I think he had 3 RBIs today. So another really big day from Rivas, and these guys just continue to do all the little things, and it's really fun to see.
Beyond Leo or Samad or Miles or any of these guys that you've had at the bottom of the order, what's just allowed them to have such consistent on-base success?
I mean, they've just put up good at bats. I mean, I don't know what else to say it. Like, great concept of the strike zone, understanding what their strike zone is, and then understanding who they are as a player, who they are as a hitter, being able to hit the ball on the line, use the middle of the field like they do. All those things I think help them understand and come up in those situations and put together a really good at bat. And they've been doing it so well and so consistently.
I'm sure you've discussed this, but just when you have as many guys go down as you have, but you continue to just move forward regardless, the train keeps moving. What is it about the common approach of this group or the attitude or anything that you can pinpoint about why that hasn't shaken you at any point?
Yeah, I mean, obviously we've been dealt some tough blows, but this is a team that knows how to handle that. They are resilient. We talk about that ad nauseum, and for good reason, because these guys really are. And I think the idea of staying in the moment. We got a game today that we can win, and we're going to go out and do that, and that's what they did today. They kept it close, and then they came in the 7th inning and took advantage of some maybe mistakes on the other side and some good at bats and able to bust it open. And we live to see another day, and we have a day off tomorrow, but we come back in Texas, and we're ready to fight again on Friday.
And Samad, Ben, Logan, now Rylan, they were all in Major League camp for you in spring at some point, and then eventually got sent back to the minor league side. How do you think that time spent with you guys and possibly pointers they gave while they got to the minor league side kind of helped continue that next man up mentality and keep everyone going even amidst the injuries?
Yeah, I mean, I think that's obviously, continuity and understanding, having relationships with people is huge. But I think the other thing is I think there's really good alignment in our organization. There's so much communication between, big leagues and minor leagues, especially in spring training, and a lot of the philosophies are the same. And so they're not hearing different stuff when they're in the minor leagues. They're hearing the same stuff that they're hearing here. And I think, I think that really helps these guys when they get here to feel more comfortable and be able to fit right in. And we saw it today with Samad, first big league start, and doing what Samad does and causing some chaos and some havoc and putting that great push bunt down, to get that inning started. That's a huge play for us right there, and that's what he does.
Hancock, the outing in Boston, and then today, getting aggressive with the slider, something that's new for him. What are you seeing in his progression at this level?
Yeah, the secondary is obviously something he continues to work on, but the changeup and the slider have been really good. And when you combine that with what he's got on the fastball, I think he's really maturing and really understanding pitching. And these two outings, especially the one in Boston where he just attacked the zone and then was able to use the secondaries effectively. Today, the same thing, attacking the zone and then being able to use secondaries. I think he's just getting more and more confidence as he goes, and he continues to make the adjustments he needs to, and it's been really good to see him kind of mature in that way, and he continues to throw the ball well.
And what does that say about his mindset? He had that first start, then got sent down, then got brought back up, then 3 straight good starts for you guys.
Yeah, I mean, you can't say enough about being able to come back from that, and he has done a job. Done a really good job for us that way. But again, I think the environment here with the starting staff and again, having relationships with guys that are on the starting staff, everybody pulls together here. And I think that's been a big lift for him as well.
He had a little bit of bad luck in some of the innings. There was an error that extended the inning, some bad luck like ground ball base hits, but he never let it snowball on him where he maybe has done that in the past at times. What have you seen as far as his growth in that area?
Yeah, I mean, again, that it kind of points to that idea of staying in the moment. There's always a way out, and I think Emerson right now is, as our guys are, we're looking for the way out and the way to be successful regardless of the circumstances, and he was able to do that today, and this team was able to do that today.
And I think that's 25 straight games for Randy reaching base. What are you seeing from his at-bats? What's impressing you and just his ability to keep the line moving?
Yeah, we've talked about it a lot, able to pick up walks when, especially in key situations, he's got a good concept of the strike zone. Just smoked that ball today into the upper deck. He just continues, to do what he has done since spring. And when he's middle of the field and waiting to get his pitch, he's a dangerous at bat, and he's been able to do that pretty consistently here in the first month.
There was a point in the Cal inning where he manufactured the run by himself, where Anderson got a ground ball out and sort of looked like he was walking back to the dugout like, phew, that's over. They put a ton of pitches on him. Just how exhausting is it for an opposing? What this lineup is able to do with putting pitches on opposing pitchers? Yeah,
I mean that's I'm not sure if that's a goal of ours, but it's a byproduct of just guys going up there putting up good at bats and making pitchers throw pitches over the plate, not chasing. I think when you do that and then you get into these situations where you have runners on base and you've got stress pitches, our guys make you earn it, and that's what they've been doing so well. That's what they did, very well here in this homestand and on the road previous to that. So, it just continues. They're continuing to do the things that we talked about, and continuing to be tough at bats. You start putting that on the other pitcher. You start, running his pitch count up. It makes for a tough afternoon.
All right.